And welcome to Cambridge Chemistry channel. It's our channel. Today in this video I will solve paper 4 alternative to practical May June 2024 paper 4 2. Let's start. Question number 1, a student finds the amount of iron 2 ions in a solution by titration. The student uses a volumetric pipette to add 25 cm cube of aqueous iron to sulfate to a conical flask. Adds approximately 20 cm cube of dilute sulfuric acid to the flask. Slowly adds aqueous potassium manganate to the conical flask until the solution just turns pink. Repeats the titration several times. Figure 1.1 shows the apparatus the student uses to measure the volume of dilute sulfuric acid. Name of the apparatus is measuring cylinder. Explain why the student does not need to use a volumetric pipette to measure the volume of dilute sulfuric acid. So because volume of acid does not need to be accurate. Describe how the student uses the volumetric pipette to measure 25 cm cube of aqueous iron to sulfate safely. Uses a pipette. Use a pipette filler to suck the liquid up to the mark in the pipette. Name the apparatus the student uses to add the aqueous potassium manganate 7 to the flask. It is burette. State why the student does not need to add an indicator to this titration. Potassium manganate 7 is itself a colored compound, so that's why no need to add an indicator in this titration. Explain how the student knows that they have done enough titration. When students get two results with 0.2 centimeter cube difference of the volume. Question number 2, a student investigates the temperature change when a solid completely dissolves in water. The student measures 25 centimeter cube of distilled water and pour it into beaker. Uses a thermometer to measure the initial temperature of the water in the beaker. Records this temperature in table 2.1 at time 0 second. Add a sample of the solid to the beaker and starts a stopwatch. Stirs the mixture and records the temperature and time at 60-second intervals for a total of 300 seconds. Some of the results are shown. So this is a table and two readings are missing, which is given over here. So at 120 degrees centigrade it is 13.5, and at 300 degrees centigrade the temperature is 15 degree. Record the values from figure 2.1 to the nearest 0.5 degrees centigrade in table 2.1. So calculate the maximum temperature change in the investigation. So we have highest temperature is the 19.5, while the lowest is 15 degrees centigrade. So by subtracting lowest from the highest we get 4.5. So this is the maximum temperature change, 4.5 degrees centigrade. Describe the trends shown in the results in table 2. As in the table. So first initially it decreases and then it increases. So initially temperature decreases and then increases. Suggest the temperature of the mixture if it is left for 60 minutes. So if 60 minutes is a very long time, so the temperature return back to the room temperature. So temperature after 60 minutes, because initial temperature is 19.5 degrees centigrade, so temperature returns back at 19.5 degrees centigrade as it returns back to the room temperature after 60 minutes. Describe the energy change when the solid dissolves in water. Explain how the results in table 2.1 support your answer. Because temperature is decreased, so reaction is endothermic. Explanation: as temperature decreases, so it indicates that reaction is endothermic. Explain why it is important for the student to stir the mixture to ensure an even temperature. The maximum temperature change calculated is not the true value for this investigation. This may because the volume of water and the temperature are not measured precisely. Explain how to obtain a more precise temperature measurement. Use a thermometer graduated to less than 1 degree centigrade intervals. The maximum temperature change calculated is less than the true value for this investigation. Suggest a reason for this other than the precision of measurements. Describe an improvement to the method which reduces this error. So that is the heat gain improvement. More insulated polystyrene cup with lid should be used. Question number 3. A student does a series of experiments to investigate solution R. Even the student leaves a wooden supplant with one end dipped into R for 10 minutes. The student then places a damp end of the wooden supplant into the flame of a Bunsen burner with the air hole open. The student concludes that R contains sodium ion. State the observation which allows the student to make this conclusion. So, yellow flame. Explain why the air hole on the Bunsen burner must be opened when doing this flame test to ensure that flame is blue in color. The student adds dilute nitric acid to R. The student observes effervescence of colorless gas which turns lime water milky. This is a test of carbon dioxide gas. So state the conclusion from this observation. So because gas turns lime water milky, it means carbon dioxide gas is evolved. The student adds barium nitrate to some of the mixture from B1. The student concludes that R contains sulfate ion. State the observation which allows the student to make this conclusion. As white precipitates are formed when student adds aqueous barium nitrate to the sum of the mixture from B1. So that's why the conclusion observation of the sulfate ion test is white precipitates. The student adds silver nitrate to some of the mixture from B1. The student observes a colorless solution. State a conclusion from this observation. If precipitates are formed, then halide ions are confound, but because no change is seen in the solution, so color observes a colorless solution, so that's why we conclude that no chloride, bromide or iodide ions are present. The student adds aqueous sodium hydroxide to R and forms a mixture. Describe a test and observation to show that R does not contain ammonium ion. Insert damp red litmus paper. So there is no change with the damp red litmus paper. So it means ammonium ions are absent. Solution R is made from a mixture of two different ionic compounds. Suggest the names of these two compounds. Because flame test gives us yellow flame, so that's why yellow flame indicate that it is a sodium, and there is positive test for sulfate ions, so that's why sodium sulfate, and carbon dioxide is evolved when we add dilute acids, so it means sodium sulfate and sodium carbonate are present. The student tests a different solution P and finds it difficult to decide whether the solution contains chloride ion or bromide ion. The student also has aqueous potassium chloride and aqueous potassium bromide. Suggest how the student could use the aqueous potassium chloride and aqueous potassium bromide to make it easier to decide whether P contains chloride ions or bromide ion. Acidify the salt potassium chloride, aqueous potassium chloride and aqueous potassium bromide, and then add aqueous silver nitrate and compare the color of the precipitate. If cream precipitates are formed, then bromide ion is present. If white precipitates, that bottle contain chloride ions. E part, the student adds dilute hydrochloric acid to another solution and a gas is produced. The gas is passed through lime water. Describe how the gas can be passed through lime water. You may draw a label diagram to help answer the question. Use a dropping pipette or delivery tube. We can use delivery tube. So this is the test tube, this is the reaction test tube, this is the delivery tube. So pass this gas in the test tube containing lime water. So this is the reaction in which carbon dioxide is evolved. And over here lime water is placed. So through delivery tube, carbon dioxide is in the gas jar containing lime water, and lime water turns milky. Question number 4. Copper to carbonate reacts with dilute sulfuric acid at room temperature. The word equation for the reaction is shown. Copper to carbonate plus sulfuric acid to form copper to sulfate, carbon dioxide and water. Plan an experiment to determine the volume of carbon dioxide formed when a known mass of copper to carbonate completely reacts with dilute sulfuric acid. Your plan must include the use of common laboratory apparatus, dilute sulfuric acid and copper to carbonate. No other chemical should be used. Your plan must include the apparatus needed, the methods used, and the measurement to take. Procedures to ensure that the volume measured is as accurate as possible. You may draw a diagram to help answer the question. So let's start. Weigh the mass of copper to carbonate and place in the conical flask. Insert the thistle funnel in the conical flask attached with the gas syringe. Airtight the apparatus, add excess sulfuric acid through thistle funnel and start the stopwatch. Stop the stopwatch when no more gas is evolved. Allow the apparatus to cool at room temperature and pressure and measure the volume of the gas. Repeat the experiment, take an average volume of gas for reliable result. So this is the gas syringe. This is conical flask. This is thistle funnel. We use thistle funnel to add sulfuric acid to ensure that no gas is evolved, escape from this conical flask. Sulfuric acid to form copper sulfate. Plus water plus CO2, and carbon dioxide is collected in the gas. So you should draw stopwatch.